Tim Kring, thank you for talking to GamesRadar, and we're very excited about Heroes coming back. What was have you been working on Heroes Reborn since the Heroes finished, or was there a moment where you knew you had to bring it back?
Well, I had always, we did not know that there wasn't going to be a fifth season of the show, so we had already begun to think about where the show would go once we had this huge cliffhanger at the end of the fourth season where Hayden Panettiere, Claire Bennett's character comes out and basically outs these powers to the world. And so we knew when we came back in an almost obligatory way that we were going to have to deal with the idea that the world now knew about powers. I had been, trying to slowly figure out how to bring this show back all these years in some way, shape, or form. We had a very big audience out there that was not watching in a traditional way. And we were the #1 most downloaded show on television the year that we were canceled. We were one of the most streamed shows, one of the most DVR'd shows, sold millions of DVDs. And so the audience was out there. They were just watching in non-traditional ways. Well, those ways now can be counted. And so when the network realized that there was still a very potent fan base out there, it dictated that we try to come back.
It's quite a dark idea, rounding people up, making them register. What is this? Have you got a political message here? What's your theme? What's your metaphor?
Well, it's very easy to draw a metaphor to all kinds of oppressed people on the planet, and it's almost impossible not to see those connections. But there's also a familiarity to it, as for storytelling. We could have come back 5 years later and the world had turned these people into celebrities and they were the elite class and all of that, but there wasn't, and we actually had that debate. Is that where the world is 5 years later? But we couldn't find enough drama in that. It just seemed like protagonists who you want to care about they're easier to care about when they are really the underdog, when they're really up against it. And so that dictated how we tell the story, and then the metaphors just sort of lay in naturally after that.
When you were creating it, it sounds like when you announced it at the Super Bowl, it was a surprise to many of the previous cast, some of whom are in it now, and we're very pleased to see them today. But did you always want to have some continuity and bring people across from the previous series, or did that sort of happen during the process?
Well, I knew that, for the audience that loved those characters, it was really important that some migrate across. But there was also, we talked a lot about wanting to make sure that this Heroes Reborn had a real DNA to the original show. And so that the audience, if they thought back, would realize that there could have been 5 seasons that would have led right to where we are, and that they feel that when they're watching it, that there's an actual continuity back to that show. And then you just listen to bring in, characters that the audience loves that also help you tell great story. I mean, Hiro Nakamura is a time traveler. We just happen to need a little bit of that in this story, a little time traveling. And so he became the obvious, kind of an obvious one to bring back.
Tim Kring, thanks very much for talking to GamesRadar. Good luck with the show. We love it.